We're diving deep into the world of the 1980 Kennedy half-dollar coin. We'll be exploring its history, unique features, and why some rare finds of this coin are worth an eye-popping $1.5 million. So, grab your magnifying glass, sit back, and let's discover the secrets of this valuable coin. The Kennedy half-dollar was first introduced in 1964, just a few months after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The U.S. Mint wanted to create a coin that would honor his memory, and what better way than with a coin featuring his likeness? Fast forward to 1980, and we see the familiar but often overlooked 1980 Kennedy half-dollar. While this coin may seem like just another in a long line of half-dollars, it has some surprises up its sleeve. But before we dive into the specifics of the 1980 let's briefly revisit the man behind the coin. President Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, became a symbol of hope and progress for many during the early 1960s. His tragic assassination in 1963 left the nation in mourning, and in honor of his legacy, the U.S. Mint decided to strike a new half-dollar coin in his likeness. The Kennedy half-dollar has been in circulation ever since, with various years and mint marks offering different levels of rarity and value. Now, let's focus on the coin. We're really here for the 1980 Kennedy half-dollar. This coin was struck at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the D mint mark on the reverse side. If you've handled a 1980 before, you probably noticed that it looks quite similar to many other half-dollars of the time. The front features President Kennedy's profile, and the back shows the U.S. eagle clutching an olive branch, with the inscriptions United States of America and E Pluribus Unum. But here's where it gets interesting. While the design remained consistent, there were still some factors that could make certain 1980 coins stand out in a big way. You see, not all 1980 Kennedy half-dollars are created equal. Some rare errors and unique features can significantly increase a coin's value. The most notable factor in determining the value of a 1980 coin is its condition. Like most collectible coins, the better the grade, the higher the value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect. A high-grade 1980 coin, particularly one in near-perfect or MS-65 condition, will attract attention from collectors. But here's the real kicker. There are rare specimens out there that are not only in fantastic condition but also feature minting errors that make them extraordinarily valuable. Take the infamous double die error, for example. Some 1980 coins were struck with a double die, meaning that part of the design appears to be doubled, a striking error that can occur during the minting process. While this is a relatively rare error, coins that feature it can fetch incredible prices at auction. If you happen to stumble upon a 1980 Kennedy half-dollar with a double die, you could be holding on to a coin worth thousands or even millions of dollars. Now, let's talk numbers. The highest recorded sale of a 1980 Kennedy half-dollar occurred at an auction where one of these rare double die coins sold for an astounding $1.5 million. That's right, over $1 million for a coin that most people wouldn't think twice about. But to reach that kind of value, the coin has to be in perfect condition, with clear and unmistakable evidence of the error. The rarity of this error, combined with the coin's pristine condition, made it one of the most valuable Kennedy half-dollars in existence. So, what should you be looking for when you're searching through your collection? Or maybe that change jar in the kitchen? Well, the first thing to check is the condition. If your 1980 Kennedy half-dollar is in mint condition, it could already have a decent value. But it's the errors like the double die or any other unusual variations that could skyrocket its worth. Don't forget to use magnification tools to really get a close-up look at your coin. Those subtle differences could make all the difference. Cut to image of a professional coin grader examining a coin narrator/host. If you think you've found something special, it's always a good idea to have it professionally graded by a certified coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade will help you determine the coin's value and make it much easier to sell or trade in the future. In addition to errors, it's important to remember that the value of any coin can also be influenced by the overall demand for that specific year and mint mark. Collectors always seek out coins that have low mintage numbers, so any information that can point to a low mintage or special condition will increase its appeal. Let's recap. The 1980 Kennedy half-dollar is a coin that may appear common, but it has the potential to be worth much more than you think. If you find one in exceptional condition, or with an error like the double die, you could have a rare treasure on your hands. With the possibility of reaching $1.5 million for a rare, high-grade example, it's certainly worth keeping your eyes peeled and your collection in check. We're diving into one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the 1976 Kennedy half-dollar. This coin isn't just another piece of change from the 70s, it carries a rich story and incredible value. In fact, some of these coins are worth a staggering $1.2 million. So if you have a 1976 Kennedy half-dollar lying around, keep watching. It might just be worth more than you ever thought. Let's break down the history of this coin, explore its value, and see how one lucky coin collector found a rare version that sold for over $1 million. But before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe if you're passionate about coins, collecting, or just love discovering hidden treasures from the past. Let's start with a bit of history. The Kennedy half-dollar was first introduced in 1964, just months after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The coin was created to honor the late president, with his profile featured on the obverse. But here's where it gets interesting. 1976 was the Bicentennial year of the United States, and the U.S. Mint made a special design for that year. In 1976, the reverse of the Kennedy half-dollar was redesigned to feature a bold bicentennial emblem, celebrating 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. This design featured the Liberty Bell and an 18th-century drummer, symbolizing America's journey to freedom. Now, if you've been collecting coins for a while, you might know that this special reverse design is the key to what makes the 1976 Kennedy half-dollar unique. So, keep this in mind as we explore its value. Alright, let's talk about rarity. 1976 Kennedy half-dollars were struck in huge quantities because of the bicentennial celebrations. The coin was made in both 40% silver and copper-nickel versions. However, certain versions of this coin are much rarer than others, and that's where the big money lies. There are three main mint marks to consider: P, D, and S. The Philadelphia Mint produced most of the coins, with the Denver Mint and San Francisco Mint contributing their share too. But the big kicker here is the proof coins, particularly the ones from the San Francisco Mint. Proof coins are specially struck with high attention to detail, intended for collectors. They have a shiny, almost mirror-like finish that makes them stand out. Some of these 1976 proof coins were made in 40% silver, and they're the ones that collectors hunt down. But remember, it's not just any 1976 coin that will bring in a fortune. It has to be the right kind. Here's where it gets really interesting. A very rare 1976 Kennedy half-dollar featuring an error was recently discovered and sold for over $1.2 million. This particular coin had a double die error, which means the coin was struck twice, creating a visible doubling effect on the date and lettering. This mistake can be subtle, but sharp-eyed collectors can spot it. It's one of those rare, happy accidents that can turn a normal coin into a fortune. There's something magical about owning a piece of American history that was struck in error, and this one turned out to be worth $1.2 million. Now, you might be thinking, I don't have a rare error coin from 1976. But don't worry, there are still plenty of other ways to find value in the 1976 Kennedy half-dollar. We'll get into that next. So what makes this coin valuable? The first thing to know is that not every 1976 Kennedy half-dollar is worth millions. But even if you don't have a rare error coin, there are a few things to look out for. Condition is key. Coins that are in uncirculated or proof-like condition are often worth more than those that have been in circulation for decades. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect. The higher the grade, the more value it holds. So, a mint state or proof coin can fetch significantly more than a regular one you'd find in your change jar. Another factor is the minting location. San Francisco's proof coins have always been highly sought after. And if you find one in great condition, you might have something very special. Now, you're probably wondering how you can determine the value of your own 1976 Kennedy half-dollar. The first step is to look at the coin's condition and check for any errors or unique features. Use a magnifying glass to closely inspect the coin. Look for signs of wear or any oddities in the lettering or design. If you spot an error, take your coin to a professional appraiser. And don't forget about online resources. Websites like PCGS and NGC offer coin grading services and can help you determine the value of your coin based on its condition, rarity, and mint mark. To wrap up, the 1976 Keenedy half-dollar isn't just a piece of American currency. It's a piece of history, from its bicentennial design to its potential for making a fortune. This coin continues to captivate collectors. Whether you've got one stashed in your drawer or are out hunting for rare coins, this one's definitely worth paying attention to. We're diving into the fascinating story behind the 1974 Keenedy half-dollar coin and uncovering why some of these coins are worth up to $1.5 million. You won't want to miss this. The Keenedy half-dollar was first minted in 1964, just a few months after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. To honor him, the U.S. Mint decided to issue a coin bearing his likeness. This coin quickly became a symbol of respect and admiration for Kennedy's legacy. Over the years, the coin has evolved in design, but it always keeps the image of Kennedy on the obverse, with the eagle on the reverse. In 1974, the Kennedy half-dollar saw some significant changes. First, production was switched to using a copper-nickel-clad metal due to a shortage of silver. While silver was once part of the Kennedy half-dollar's composition, by 1974, the coin was no longer made with silver in its core, which means this coin is mostly copper and nickel. Now, let's take a close look at the features of the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar. The obverse, or front side, features a striking portrait of President John F. Kennedy designed by artist Gilroy Roberts. Kennedy's profile is surrounded by the words "Liberty" at the top, "In God We Trust" at the bottom, and the date 1974 appears just below the neck. On the reverse, we have the Great Seal of the United States, an eagle holding a bundle of arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing strength and peace. The words United States of America and half-dollar surround the eagle. This design was created by Frank Gasparo and has remained unchanged since the coin's first issue in 1964. So, now that we know the history and design of the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar, why is it worth so much today? Well, the value of this coin, like many rare coins, is heavily influenced by factors like condition, minting errors, and scarcity. Let's break that down. Most 1974 Kennedy half-dollars are worth only a few dollars. However, there's a rare variety of this coin that's worth an eye-popping $1.5 million. I'm talking about the 1974 Denver Mint double die obverse Kennedy half-dollar. In 1974, a rare minting error occurred at the Denver Mint, where the die used to strike the coins was misaligned, resulting in a doubled image of Kennedy's portrait on the obverse. This was an error that only a handful of coins received, making them incredibly valuable today. One such coin was discovered in 2003 and sold for a staggering $1.5 million. So how can you tell if your 1974 Kennedy half-dollar is worth more than just its face value? The most important thing to look for is the double die obverse. This means that the image of Kennedy's head appears to have been struck twice, with a noticeable doubling in the details around the neck, chin, and hair. If you have a coin with this kind of error, it could be worth a fortune. But keep in mind, condition is key. Coins in mint or near mint condition will always fetch a higher price. Aside from the double die error, there are also other rare 1974 Kennedy half-dollars worth more than the standard value. For example, coins with low mintage numbers, such as those from the San Francisco Mint, or coins in pristine uncirculated condition, can fetch higher prices. In fact, some of these coins can be valued anywhere between $10 to $100, depending on their condition and rarity. If you think you might have a valuable 1974 Kennedy half-dollar, how do you go about selling it? Well, there are a few options. First, you can take it to a certified coin dealer who can authenticate and appraise it. If you're looking to get the best price, consider auctioning your coin, as some of the most valuable coins are sold this way. Remember to get it graded by a trusted agency like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. So, There you have it, the 1974 Keenedy half-dollar. A coin with a rich history, some rare varieties worth a fortune, and the potential to make you a millionaire if you find the right one. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just starting out, always be on the lookout for those rare minting errors. Who knows? You could have a priceless coin hidden in your collection. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1972 Keenedy half-dollar coin. From its rich history to its surprising value, especially one that's worth over $1.3 million, we're covering it all. So, whether you're a seasoned collector or just beginning, you're going to want to stick around for this. To understand the significance of the 1972 Keenedy half-dollar, we first need to take a step back into history. The coin was introduced in 1964, just a few months after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. As a tribute to the fallen president, the U.S. Mint struck a coin to honor his legacy. Before Kennedy, the half-dollar coin featured Benjamin Franklin, but in 1964, the U.S. Mint transitioned to honor the late president. The obverse, or front, of the coin features a striking profile of President Kennedy, designed by artist Gilroy Roberts. And the reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, shows the presidential seal. Truly a coin that embodies a moment in history. Now, let's focus on the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar. By this time, the coin had been in circulation for nearly a decade, and while it had become a familiar face in American currency, it also underwent some changes. One notable feature of the 1972 coin is the lack of any major design alterations. The obverse remains as it was in 1964, with the familiar portrait of JFK. However, the minting process during this time saw an interesting change. In 1972, the Kennedy half-dollar was produced in 3 different varieties: the Philadelphia issue with no mint mark, the Denver Mint marked D, and the San Francisco Mint marked S. While the Denver and San Francisco coins were relatively easy to find, it's the Philadelphia issue, the coin without a mint mark, that stands out in the world of rare coins. Collectors began noticing something peculiar about the 1972 Philadelphia coin. It wasn't just the usual circulation where that caught their attention, but the quality of some of the coins. Some were struck with unusual features, particularly errors or subtle variations that made them highly sought after in the numismatic community. Let's fast forward to the present day. One of these 1972 Philadelphia Kennedy half-dollars, specifically one with a rare double die obverse error, has now reached a staggering value of $1.3 million. But what exactly makes this coin worth such an astronomical price? Double die errors occur when a coin is struck twice by the die, resulting in a slight misalignment. This produces a doubling effect on the design, and in the case of the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar, it's most noticeable on the word Liberty and the date 1972. These subtle, yet striking, errors are what make this coin so valuable. The key to identifying this rare error is to closely examine the coin under magnification. Look for the doubled letters and numbers, particularly on the obverse side. Only a few of these coins were ever released into circulation, and they have become some of the most coveted pieces among collectors. So what does this mean for collectors? Well, if you have a 1972 Kennedy half-dollar in your collection, it's worth checking it over carefully for any signs of this double die obverse error. You might just be holding onto a coin worth thousands, or if you're lucky, millions. Just how valuable is this coin? A recent auction saw a 1972 Kennedy half-dollar with the double die error fetch over $1.3 million, setting a record for the coin. And while not every 1972 half-dollar will reach such extreme values, those with the error are now considered among the most expensive coins in the market. Keeping your coin safe is crucial if you believe you might have a rare find. Make sure to store your 1972 Kennedy half-dollar, especially the rare error versions, in a protective case to preserve its value. Proper storage is essential for keeping the coin in top condition for years to come. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a new hobbyist, the world of coin collecting offers endless surprises, and the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar is just one of many examples of how rare coins can hold both historical significance and incredible value. So, next time you're sifting through your change or looking through your collection, remember, there may be a hidden treasure just waiting to be discovered. We have a fascinating piece of American numismatic history to talk about: the 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar. This coin might just be sitting in your collection or even in your spare change jar. But what if I told you that this coin could be worth $1.4 million? Yes, you heard that right. Let's dive into the history, value, and rare possibilities surrounding this iconic coin. First, let's take a step back in time. The Kennedy half-dollar was first minted in 1964, just months after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. In an effort to honor his legacy, the U.S. Mint decided to create a coin that would feature his likeness. The Kennedy half-dollar became an immediate symbol of respect for a fallen leader. The design was the work of Gilroy Roberts, the chief engraver at the U.S. Mint at the time, and it depicted a portrait of President Kennedy on the obverse front of the coin, while the reverse featured the U.S. heraldic eagle. Originally, the Kennedy half-dollar was made of 90% silver, but by 1971, the U.S. government had switched to a clad composition made of copper and nickel. This switch was due to the rising costs of silver and the need for more affordable coin production. This brings us to our main topic, the 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar. In 1971, the U.S. Mint began producing the Kennedy half-dollar in large quantities. The 1971 D variety was minted in Denver, and the D mint mark on the coin denotes its place of origin. These coins were released into circulation and widely distributed across the country. Most of these coins are still in circulation today, and they don't have a high value. However, there is something very special about this particular coin that makes it stand out from the crowd. Now, you might be wondering, what makes the 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar so valuable? It's not just about any old coin from this year. It's about rarity and condition. In fact, one rare 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar, graded at MS-68, has been known to sell for a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. So what's the secret? It all boils down to the coin's condition. Most of these coins have been heavily circulated, but in 1971, some were produced with slight variations or defects that make them incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. Coins that receive a high grade, like MS-68 or MS-69, are often in pristine condition, with no visible wear or scratches, making them immensely valuable. It's this flawless state, combined with rarity, that creates the potential for coins like the 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar to sell for millions. So, how do you know if your 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar could be worth $1.4 million? Well, the first step is to examine the coin carefully. Look for these key. A coin's grade is based on its condition. If your coin is in mint state without any scratches or damage, it could be worth far more than face value. Look for any unique errors, such as off-center strikes, double die errors, or any other characteristics that could make it stand out as a rare piece. Be careful not to clean your coin. Cleaning can damage the surface and reduce its value. Collectors and professional numismatists use specialized tools to determine the grade, so it's a good idea to take your coin to an expert if you suspect it might be a rare find. The market for rare Kennedy half-dollars. Now, you might be wondering, where can I sell my rare Kennedy half-dollar? The market for rare coins has been growing steadily over the years. Auctions, both online and in person, are one of the most common places where coins like the 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar are sold. You can find these auctions through reputable platforms like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers. Before you sell, however, it's important to get your coin professionally graded by services like PCGS or NGC. The grading process helps to establish its value and attracts serious buyers. Conclusion: is your 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar worth $1.4 million? So, is your 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar worth $1 million? While the majority of these coins are not worth much beyond face value, there is always the possibility that you have a rare, high-grade gem hidden in your collection or change jar. Coins that have been preserved in perfect condition or have unique errors are often worth thousands, if not millions. If you find one of these rare coins, you might just be holding onto a piece of American history that could make you a small fortune. Always keep an eye out for coins that stand out, and remember, rarity, condition, and demand can turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary treasure. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1973 Keenedy half-dollar, a coin that's not only rich in history but also packs a surprising value that could potentially reach a staggering $1.4 million. So, whether you're a seasoned collector or just beginning your journey into numismatics, this video is for you. The 1973 Keenedy half-dollar is one of the most intriguing coins in U.S. minting history. It holds a special place in the hearts of collectors, as it was part of the post-1964 series when the U.S. Mint transitioned from silver to a clad composition. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of its value, let's take a step back and explore its rich history. The Keenedy half-dollar was first minted in 1964, just months after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The coin was designed to honor his legacy and was quickly adopted as a tribute to the 35th President of the United States. His profile, designed by sculptor Frank Gasparo, is prominently featured on the obverse, a dignified reminder of his time in office. By 1973, the Keenedy half-dollar had evolved in terms of its composition. While earlier versions were made from 90% silver, the minting of the half-dollar in 1965 marked the beginning of a clad composition. This included a core of pure copper, sandwiched between two layers of copper-nickel alloy. This was part of the government's effort to reduce the cost of minting coins and respond to a nationwide shortage of silver. On the reverse of the coin, we see a beautiful depiction of the presidential seal, designed by Gilroy Roberts. The eagle, with its wings spread wide, clutching an olive branch and arrows, symbolizes both peace and strength. The words United States of America and E pluribus unum encircle the image, completing the bold, patriotic design. Now, let's talk about the specifics of the 1973 Keenedy half-dollar. It was minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, with the coins from Denver featuring a D mint mark. In total, around 108 million Keenedy half-dollars were minted in 1973, making it a fairly common coin. However, despite the high mintage, the real value of these coins comes from their condition, rarity, and specific variations. When it comes to coin collecting, it's all about the condition. A well-circulated 1973 Keenedy half-dollar may only be worth its face value, 50 cents. However, in pristine, uncirculated condition, the value rises significantly. Coins that are graded MS 65 or higher can fetch anywhere from $5 to $20, depending on market demand. But wait, there's more. Some rare 1973 Keenedy half-dollars have been sold for much higher amounts. This is where things get really interesting. Let me tell you about the story of the rarest 1973 Keenedy half-dollar. It's a coin that's valued at over $1.4 million. This coin is a special proof, one that was struck with exceptional detail and flawless quality. Only a few of these perfect proof coins exist, and they are known to command extraordinary prices at auction. In 2019, a specific 1973 Keenedy half-dollar with flawless proof quality was sold at a major coin auction for a record-breaking price of $1.4 million. The buyer? A passionate numismatist who saw the value in preserving a piece of American history. To understand how a 1973 coin can reach such an astronomical value, we have to look at the concept of coin grading. Grading is a system used to assess the condition of a coin. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect. The rarer the grade, the higher the value. If you're lucky enough to come across a 1973 Keenedy half-dollar in MS 67 or higher, you may have a coin worth thousands of dollars. So, how do you know if you have a valuable 1973 Keenedy half-dollar? Start by checking its condition. If it's a proof coin or a well-preserved, high-grade coin, you may want to have it professionally graded by an expert, like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. They'll provide an official grade and help you understand its market value. To wrap up, the 1973 Keenedy half-dollar is much more than just a coin. It represents a moment in American history, an era of change, and the enduring legacy of President Kennedy. Whether you're holding on to a few from your pocket change or you're lucky enough to have a rare proof coin in your collection, it's clear that this coin has stood the test of time and will continue to fascinate collectors for generations. So, next time you stumble upon a 1973 Kennedy half-dollar, take a closer look. You never know. It could be worth a lot more than you think. And, of course, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that bell for more insights into the world of coin collecting. Hello, coin enthusiasts and collectors alike. Welcome to today's special video. If you've ever wondered about the legendary 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar and whether it might be hiding a fortune, you're in the right place. Stay tuned, because in the next 10 minutes, we'll be uncovering the history, significance, and rare coins that have sold for a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out on all things coin-related. Now, let's dive right into the fascinating story of the 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar coin. First, let's talk about the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar coin. Struck by the U.S. Mint, this coin carries the legacy of one of the most beloved presidents in American history, John F. Kennedy. After President Kennedy was tragically assassinated in 1963, the U.S. Mint decided to honor his memory by issuing the Kennedy half-dollar in 1964. Initially minted in 90% silver, these coins were later changed to a copper-nickel blend in 1971 due to rising silver prices. The 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar, featuring the D mint mark, was produced in Denver. It's part of the series that continued to be issued annually, but this particular coin has captured the attention of collectors for its unique attributes. As you can see, the obverse features a profile of President Kennedy, designed by sculptor Gilroy Roberts. The coin's reverse displays the heraldic eagle, created by Frank Gasparo. The design remains a powerful symbol of American pride and resilience. Now, let's get to the real question. What makes the 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar so special? The 1972 D coin is relatively common, with over 246 million minted. So, it's not one of those rare finds that you'll instantly think is worth a fortune. But, and here's where it gets interesting, there are rare varieties of the 1972 D coin that have made their way into the spotlight. Coins that, with a bit of luck and the right circumstances, could be worth millions. Take, for instance, one of the most famous 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollars ever sold. This coin, in near-perfect condition, was sold at an auction for a staggering $1.5 million. But what made it so valuable? What sets this particular coin apart are some key features. It's a minting error coin, likely one of the very few produced that year. The coin has what's called a double die obverse, meaning the image of Kennedy's portrait was stamped more than once, resulting in a distinctive doubling effect. These errors are incredibly rare and can make a coin worth far more than its face value. When it comes to determining value, the condition of a coin is crucial. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher grades meaning better condition. The rare $1.5 million 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar was graded at a near-perfect 67, which is considered exceptional. But before you start checking your change for these rare varieties, keep in mind that finding one of these coins is incredibly difficult. You won't just find a $1.5 million coin lying around. The chances of finding a mint error or one in pristine condition are slim, but that's part of the thrill of collecting. Coin collecting is all about the hunt. And for many, that thrill comes from discovering something truly special, like a rare mint error or a coin in uncirculated condition. So, how can you tell if your 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar is worth a fortune? Start by inspecting the coin closely. Look for signs of wear or any noticeable doubling on the features, especially the portrait of Kennedy. Check the edges and surface for any damage or unusual markings that might indicate a mint error. If you believe your coin might have a rare feature, consider taking it to a professional coin grader or even a reputable coin dealer. A certified coin can dramatically increase its value when it comes to selling or trading. Now, while most 1972 D Kennedy half-dollars will be worth around $5 to $10, depending on condition, the potential for a high-value discovery makes this coin one worth keeping an eye on. Who knows? Maybe you'll find a gem that turns into your own $1.5 million treasure. Whether you're just starting out or are an experienced collector, the 1972 D Kennedy half-dollar offers plenty of excitement and the possibility of striking it rich. As always, the key is to do your research and know what to look for. Happy hunting, and good luck!